with your audio, and of course this is a very important conversation that we must have. So I'm just going to let you go for a bit, and then we'll try and re-establish the line, and then we'll just begin the interview yet again. All right, let's quickly shift our focus to this story in the interim. Going forward, the South African Revenue Service, SARS, will increase its focus on debt collection. Now, this is according to the SARS Deputy Commissioner, Johnstone Makhubu. He was speaking at this year's Tax Indaba, currently underway in Johannesburg. Makhubu says the fiscus is being owed 513 billion rands by taxpayers.
We will, going forward, increase our focus on debt collection. And I think it's important I say this. I spoke about 513 billion, and I said any board of a private company will ask the CFO and the CEO, what are you doing to extract value out of the balance sheet? And we'll focus intensely on collecting our debt. And what we are finding as we collect our debt, that there's a balance that we need to put in place. The balance between the rights of taxpayers and the extraction of the debt that we need to extract. And we are quite aggressive internally to make sure that those that collect debt in our organization understand that there is rights that taxpayers have and they must be afforded those rights. And we believe that's sacrosanct because it drives the trust dividend that we need to have between the tax administration and taxpayers. But again, it's very important that those that are paying their dues are comfortable that we are doing everything to extract the money that is sitting in our debt. So what we are finding, and I'll pause here a little bit, and I'll accelerate forward. What we are finding is that our debt that we are collecting is no longer about phoning somebody and say, you owe us money, and please pay us. It's now moving into such things as, even beyond third-party appointments, it's now moving into having to leverage such things as civil judgments, and moving further towards such things as writs of execution. And we have been in the past constrained in terms of moving in the direction of beyond third-party appointments. We've just added 100 resources that are experienced legal collectors to be able to take us that way. We've also enhanced, or are in the process of enhancing, our litigation team, because we know that people will always tend to ignore you until you get to civil judgment and until you get to attaching some assets through writs of execution. But again, we believe we should not get there for an ordinary taxpayer in terms of collecting the debt that we need to. We are focusing on unexplained wealth and economically active persons who are not declaring or are under declaring. I think this is an ongoing piece of work. And increasingly, you are finding that there's people that are in the public domain, people that are in lavish lifestyles, and people that are in very beautiful estates. But if you tend to try and then understand what their activity with the tax administration is, you find that there is some disparities that need to be addressed.